Today's story is about two classmates who couldn't stand each other, but fate locked them together in a place where surviving was nearly impossible. They were trapped for months on an island, forced to face each other in the wild. How they survived there, and what crazy things they did together, that's what we'll see in today's story. Story begins with a beautiful girl named Emma, who wakes up early in the morning to get ready for school. Emma is a bright and popular student at her school, with a lot of friends. On the other side, we meet Dean, a lazy guy who, unlike Emma, wakes up late, brushes his teeth, and immediately starts playing video games. His father, Jack, tells him he'll be late for school. Meanwhile, Emma and her little sister Stacy are dropped off at school by their mom, Barbara. When Emma reaches school, she meets her best friend Liz. While they're chatting, another student, Stephen, walks over to greet Emma. Seeing that, Liz starts teasing her. That same day in class, Mr. Christensen, their teacher, announces that the school bus will leave at 7 a.m. sharp the next morning for a trip to Trinity Island. While he's explaining the details, Emma walks in late, and right after her, Dean comes running in and bumps into her. He sarcastically says, "Sorry, princess." As Mr. Christensen continues explaining about the trip, Liz tells Emma that Dean is going too only because of his dad's money. She rolls her eyes at Dean and makes a face. Later at lunch, Liz tells her friends about what happened that morning between Emma and Stephen, and says that on the trip, they'll have an entire week to work their magic and get Emma to hook up with Stephen. But Emma says they should forget that nonsense and focus on the trip. While they're talking, Emma notices Dean sitting alone, cutting an apple with a knife. A few moments later, Miss Collier, another teacher, comes over and scolds Dean for bringing a knife to school, then takes him to the principal's office. Liz tells her friends that Emma shouldn't hang out with boys like Dean when a hot guy like Stephen likes her. The next morning, Emma gets ready for the trip and thanks her mom, Barbara, and dad, Phil, for letting her go. Dean, on the other hand, doesn't want to go at all, but his dad, Jack, reminds him how hard he worked to get Dean allowed on the trip despite breaking school rules. So Dean reluctantly agrees. Mr. Christensen gathers everyone and tells them to get on the bus. As Emma climbs aboard, Stephen asks how she's doing, and Liz teases her again, but Emma ignores it. Soon, they reach Trinity Island. As everyone gets off, Miss Collier tells the students they can enjoy the pool for a while, but they must be back before dinner, since the program starts the next day. A while later, Emma and her friends jump into the pool, where she meets Stephen again. Everyone's having fun except Dean, who's watching them silently from a balcony. That evening, Liz and another friend tell Emma that Stephen invited everyone to a party happening on a local boat. Emma refuses at first, but her friends insist and finally convince her to go. At the boat party, Emma looks around for her friend Helen, but then she spots Stephen kissing another girl. Shocked and hurt, she turns to leave and Dean, who is nearby, sees everything. Dean says, "Your boyfriend seems to be having a good time," to which Emma snaps, "It's none of your business." Suddenly, the police arrive. They'd gotten a tip that students were using drugs at the party. Officers shout for everyone to come to the front of the boat. In the chaos, Emma slips and falls into the water. Dean sees her fall and immediately dives in to save her. He pulls her onto a small boat tied to the big one. Dean cuts the rope connecting the boats, saying he doesn't want to get caught up in police trouble, and that once things calm down, they'll row back to the big boat. But within minutes, their little boat drifts far away, and a storm starts building. Dean notices the boat doesn't even have a motor. Suddenly, a huge wave hits them, and they cling to the sides for their lives. By morning, the storm has carried them deep into the Arabian Sea. Dean's phone is dead, and when he asks for Emma's, hers has no signal. Emma scolds him, saying they should have followed the party boat. Dean shrugs it off, saying, "Don't worry, someone will come for us." Just then, Emma spots an island in the distance. Dean rows toward it with all his strength, and after hours of struggle, they finally reach it. Once there, Emma checks her phone again, still no signal. Dean finds a flare gun on the boat and takes it, hoping it might help later. Meanwhile, back at the hotel, Mr. Christensen cancels the rest of the trip because of the party incident. Liz tells Ms. Collier that Emma never came back last night. She assumed Emma was with someone, but the last time she saw her, Emma was on the party boat. When Mr. Christensen takes attendance, he realizes Dean is missing too. The staff now know Emma and Dean are both gone. The police question the students. Ms. Collier asks if there's any way to search for them, but the officers explain such cases happen often, maybe they'll return on their own. If they're lost at sea, though, it'll be difficult to find them. When Dean's father, Jack, hears his son is missing, he rushes to the school, where he meets Emma's mom, Barbara, and later Phil arrives too. They all demand answers from the principal, but he has none. Back on the island, Emma and Dean explore the jungle and discover a beautiful waterfall. Dean loves it and asks Emma to take a picture of him, but she refuses, saying, "We're stuck here, and you're enjoying this? I needed good marks for my project. I was supposed to go to Princeton University. If we don't get rescued soon, everything's ruined." After hours of walking, they reach the island's edge, but there's no way off, no sign of life. They decide to return to the boat, only to find it gone, washed away by the tide. All that's left is a life jacket. Exhausted, they build a fire as the sun sets and decide to stay the night. Dean notices Emma shivering, so he takes off his shirt and gives it to her. They talk, hoping their parents might find them tomorrow. Next morning, Dean wakes up to find Emma missing, but then sees her writing SOS on the sand near the shore. When he asks what she's doing, she says, "Trying to save our lives. We also need to find drinking water." Dean goes swimming to cool off while Emma watches him. Meanwhile, at the hotel, Mr. Christensen tells both families that the police found a small boat that might have belonged to Emma and Dean. Jack suggests hiring a private rescue team, but Mr. Christensen assures them the police are doing their best. On the island, Emma fills bottles with water, but suddenly feels like someone's watching her. Terrified, she runs back. They later build a small hut from leaves for shade. Emma makes another big SOS sign with stones on the beach, hoping a rescue plane might see it. They survive by eating fruits and bananas Dean finds. Because of the heat, Emma cuts her long pants into shorts. Later, she sees Dean sleeping in the hut and quietly lies beside him. Dean turns in his sleep and places his hand on her. She doesn't move it. The next day, when Emma bathes under the waterfall, Dean comes asking for sunscreen. She says, "I'm bathing. Go somewhere else." Dean smirks. "You're the one who told me to stand guard." Emma insists, "I said that because I think someone else is on this island." Back home, Barbara is heartbroken as the news reports that Emma and Dean's case is now officially declared missing and authorities believe they might be dead. Phil tells Barbara to stay strong, hugs her, and says Emma will be found. The next day, Jack and Barbara board a helicopter to search the nearby islands. That night, on the island, Emma tells Dean she misses her family. Dean finds a human skull, and Emma panics, saying, "He must have been stuck here like us, and died. We'll end up like him." Dean calms her down, saying, "He was probably a fisherman or smuggler who died here. But our parents are looking for us. We're not alone. As long as we stick together, we won't die here, we'll make it home." He kisses her, Emma's first kiss, and she doesn't pull away. That night, things go further between them as a storm rages outside. For the first time, Emma feels alive and even enjoys the storm. Next morning, Emma wakes up and can't find Dean. Panicked, she searches and finds him digging a hole. When she slips and hurts her knee, he rushes over to treat her wound and reassures her. Later, they bathe under the waterfall. Dean tells her his mom died in a car accident, and Emma listens quietly. Then it starts raining, and they dance together as Dean places a flower in her hair. Emma says she wants to feel the storm again, and Dean smiles, ready to make it happen. Meanwhile, it's been 1 month since their disappearance. The police stop the official search, assuming they're dead, but Barbara still believes they're alive. She and Jack fly out again with flyers showing Emma and Dean's photos. After days of searching, Jack tells Barbara they've done everything possible and should go home. She sadly agrees. Back on the island, Dean tells Emma about the green flash his mother once described a light seen at sunset, though he's never witnessed it himself. Weeks pass. They've now adapted to island life, swimming, exploring, laughing. They become deeply connected and often enjoy the storms together. One day, Emma asks Dean about his first time, who it was with. Dean tells her it was with an older friend from school. He then asks how she felt. She smiles and says, "It was nice, except the sand got everywhere." She laughs and says she wants more experience, and Dean grins, "All right then." Later, while picking fruit in the forest, they hear a plane. They run to an open area, but when Dean searches for the flare gun in Emma's bag, it's missing. By the time they realize it, the plane is already gone. Emma suspects someone else on the island might have stolen it. Days pass again. They start losing hope of rescue and decide to spend the rest of their lives there together. One night, Dean hears an animal growl and goes to check. Emma follows, worried. Dean encounters a black panther and runs for his life. He eventually kills it with a knife. Time passes. Emma and Dean's families move on, while the two learn to live off the island, hunting and surviving happily together, their hope of rescue fading. Then one day, Emma starts vomiting. Dean asks, "Are you pregnant?" She insists, "No, it's nothing." Later, as they lie down together, some of Emma's lost belongings suddenly fall from above. They look up and see a monkey throwing their stuff, including the missing flare gun. Emma offers the monkey a banana, and it drops the gun. At that exact moment, they hear a helicopter approaching. Emma loads the flare gun, fires it, and the rescue team spots them. Finally, after 3 long months, they are rescued and brought home. At the airport, their parents and friends rush to hug them in tears. That night, Dean sneaks over to Emma's house. They talk about how strange it feels to be back. Dean leans in to kiss her, but she pulls back, saying, "My parents check on me every 10 minutes. You should go. Oh, and we're having a party tomorrow to celebrate our return, you better come." At the party, Everyone celebrates their homecoming. Stacy asks Dean why he's sitting alone, and he says, "I'm not really good at socializing." Dean signals Emma to come outside, but she ignores him. Hurt, he quietly leaves the party. Life slowly goes back to normal. Emma becomes famous after surviving the island, while Dean stays the same, quiet, alone. When they pass each other, they just exchange looks. Days later, Emma calls him, but he doesn't answer. Later, Stacy goes into Emma's room and says, "When you went missing, we missed you so much. Mom and Dad were devastated. We thought we'd lost you forever. But now that we're together again, we're so happy." Emma smiles and says, "You're the best sister ever." The two decide to go to prom night together. Meanwhile, Dean visits his mother's grave and breaks down crying. On prom night, Dean is watching TV when his father asks if he'd like to wear his suit to the party. At the same time, Emma arrives at prom with her sister. Liz takes her outside for a surprise, and there, standing in the rain wearing a suit, is Dean, waiting for her. Seeing him, Emma remembers everything from the island. She walks up to him, smiling through tears. They kiss passionately in the rain, and that's where this story ends.